About a year and a half ago, one of my friends had came over to visit from Germany, and at this point I didn't own a car yet, so instead what I did is I rented a car from the airport place. I picked the vehicle out, and then I got in it, and I realized I didn't fit. I got the compact because I was trying to save money, forgetting that I'm literally too tall to exist, so I got in the car, and then I had to sheepishly walk back to the front desk and be like, hey, can I get a car I actually fit in? Of course they were fine with it. They offered me another one that I also didn't fit in, and then eventually I had to just upgrade to get like an SUV, and I was like, cool, sure. The world is built against tall people. My fellow tall brethren should rise up and overthrow the government. What was the point of that story? Fuck you, this is my video. Which type of transportation is the gayest? Notice how we're not sticking rigidly to cars here. Does taking the subway make you fruity? Is it gayer than taking the bus, or is it straighter? Were you ever riding a plane and wishing you were riding someone else? All the questions you didn't ask are gonna be answered in this video, and if you don't like it, well, cool. If you're asking why I'm filming this sitting instead of standing like I normally do, how about you mind your fucking business? Number 1, sedan. I picked the sedan one first because it's the very basic bitch kind of car. Like when you think of a car, you probably think of a sedan at first glance. So because of that, that'll be our baseline. Bit fruity. 2, minivan, straight, all the way. Minivans are so ingrained in soccer mom culture that it would feel weird to put in anything else. You remember when you were forcibly enrolled in the soccer class when you were a kid because your parents thought you needed more physical activity, and at every soccer game there was always the one mom who was like 10 times more into it than the actual kids were? That is 100% minivan vibes right there. Definitely cannot give it higher than straight. Tempted to put it in homophobic, but most of the people that I know who are like that surprisingly are actually very supportive of the gays trademark. SUV. I own an SUV myself, which means I can say with 100% certainty that they are homophobic. SUVs are just like beta Hummers. The only reason I have an SUV is because, like I said in the introduction, I am too tall to exist, so having a vehicle that is actually like pretty good ceiling height is good for me. Convertible. We're gonna put in pretty gay. Very fruity, can go both ways. The roof implies that it's a switch. I'd say that's pretty gay. Sports car. I was gonna have separate categories for like Lamborghini, Ferrari, Ubuntu, whatever the fuck, but to be honest, I can't tell the difference between any of them. I also feel like if you get a sports car, especially if it's like one of the big name brands, it's like the equivalent of getting Gucci, where either you're just desperate to show off how much money you have, or you're compensating for something. I want to throw it into flaming, but I probably won't. I'll probably just put it down to pretty gay. Anything in NASCAR. I don't know. I've met a lot of NASCAR fans that are actually not homophobic at all, despite my instinct wanting to put it in homophobic. I'm gonna slam NASCAR into between homophobic and straight. Number 7, go-kart. Straight, because if anyone rolls up in a go-kart, I just know that they slay pussy like a motherfucker. I remember when I thought I was straight, I ended up getting infatuated with a girl at my summer camp to the point where I was driving a go-kart down this track during one of the activity days, and I was staring at her, and I didn't even realize that I was operating a motor vehicle at like 30 kilometers an hour, so I just ended up crashing into the tire wall. My brain can't multitask. Pickup truck. There are use cases for pickup trucks, but the problem is that a lot of people, much like the sports cars, are compensating for something, especially if they modify the muffler so that it just sounds like shit. When did it become the meta amongst car people to just make a competition to see whose car can fart the loudest? We're gonna put pickup truck in homophobic. My foot fell asleep. Oh, there it is. Semi-truck. Fruity. You ever think about how semi-trucks have too many wheels? Why can't I have that many wheels on my car? I thought this is homophobic. Monster truck. Flaming, baby. Monster trucks are some of the showiest shits ever, dude. That's gotta earn style points. Every time a monster truck does a flip, I feel like it's the equivalent of like the snap shit that like drag queens do, you know what I mean? I think for April Fools, I'm gonna make a video called Rating Sexualities by How Gay They Are. That's so fucking dumb. Where would I put bi? I guess a bit fruity. Would I put ace and arrow people in homophobic because they don't like anyone? I don't know, lots of logistics to figure out. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Golf cart. I may or may not have just misread golf cart as Garfield cart. I'd fuck someone in a golf cart. Why not? Another experience with a golf cart I had is one time I was riding one and my grandparents were golfing, and I didn't realize that unlike regular vehicles, when you turn the wheel on a golf cart and then you let go of it, the wheel just stays there. So you're just turning forever. I didn't realize this, and I just ran it off course, almost off a hill. If you're wondering how I still have my license, you tell me, I don't know. I think in my sports video I mentioned how golfers look like metrosexuals, so we're gonna call golf carts pretty gay. Electric vehicles. Not a type per se, but electric vehicles are a new thing on the market, and I would call them, a lot of them, if they're not advertising the fact that they're electric, a lot of them advertise the look and how futuristic and sleek and everything they look, so they care a lot about looks. How many times can I say look in a sentence? I don't know. We're gonna call it a bit fruity. And now there's a notable distinction in this list that I made, because the one right below that is electric vehicles, parenthesis, Tesla, close parenthesis. That is going into homophobic, and if I have to explain why, do you have eyes and ears? Everything involving elongated muskrat aside, I have not met a Tesla driver on the road who didn't drive either like shit or like a dickhead. Every time I see someone driving a Tesla, I know to stay the fuck away from them. If I'm with them on the highway, I will like move over lanes. That is the level I'm at with Tesla drivers. I don't need them crashing into me before their battery melts through the car floor. Bicycle has bi in the name. Tempted to make it a bit fruity. I did say in the sports gay video that BMX, only two people I know who did BMX quite often recreationally are both straight. So I get, We're gonna go between Bit Fruity and straight. I'm gonna do the tier lists in Photoshop from now on. I have unlimited power. I no longer abide to the tier list website rules. No gods, no masters. No one can tell me shit. I can do what I want. I have a weapon and I'm 2 kilometers away from your location. Motorcycle. Motorcycle. Hardly know her. I only know much about motorcycles. I've ridden on the bitch seat of ones before, but I don't entirely have enough of a vibe on them. The person I know best who rides a motorcycle is my dad, and I don't think he's fucked a dude. I can't think of anything that would put the motorcycle in the fruity or above category. Let's stick with straight. I don't know why I put boat. This is followed by like 5 other things that are all water vehicles. Let's go middle of the road, say a bit fruity. Motorboat, because of the fact that it's called motorboat, I kind of want to, well, I guess you can motorboat in any sexuality. We'll say a bit fruity for that one too. Actually, no, pretty gay. It requires less manual labor to actually, It requires less manual labor to actually get it moving, so I figure it's better for lazy people like me. Canoe. Canoe we will put in straight. Seems around the mill, a very man's water transportation of choice. Now a gondola. I hope I got gondola right. I think there's like multiple definitions. It's weird. I'm saying gondola is in like the thing that they water in Venice, you know? Ski lift comes up later. You'll get your turn. Sit down, be patient. I'm gonna say a gondola is flaming. It's like a canoe, but a shitload showier. And look at the people who navigate that shit, dog. And speaking of showy, yacht. You wanna talk about a show? What about a whole fucking theater? Ferry. There's nothing really about it that would make me think that it is fruity or above, but ferry was what a lot of kids called me in high school, so I think I'll call that a bit fruity. Cruise ship. You mean to tell me that a lot of people ride you for a good time? I don't know how to follow up that joke. We're playing it in flaming. All the water ones seem to be gay as shit. That's pretty interesting. Bus. Buses are homophobic. I can't explain it. They just have that vibe. They are the least preferred transit option in my opinion. I think at least in Toronto, it's the method of transportation where you're most likely to find someone who will shank you or throw up on you, or both, maybe not in that order. I have also only ever heard people begin shouting homophobic slurs on buses. Maybe I've been on the wrong streetcars or trains, but I don't know. Buses tend to get more lively with that shit. Now, streetcar is a different beast. The tram or the streetcar is essentially the same thing as a bus, except it's easier to get on for free. I'm assuming it's the same way in other places, but in Toronto, the person who actually operates the streetcar is like behind a glass wall, like near the front, and then everywhere else is just like you just tap on and you go. And there were some fare inspectors, but I don't think I've ever actually, I think I've seen a fare inspector maybe twice the entire time I have worked in Toronto. So I met someone through my work who told me before that for 4 years straight, he just never paid to go in the streetcar. Eventually he did get caught by a fare inspector and had to pay a few $100, but considering the fact that he had been riding it for years without paying, he saved like thousands of dollars. So because streetcars allow you to kind of bend the system the way you want, bend it to your will, I'm going to put it in pretty gay. Train. I'm talking specifically overground trains for now. It kind of depends on the vibe, to be honest. I'm tempted to go with straight, but I do enjoy the artwork that I see of furries turning trains into like mechanical dragons and shit, so we are gonna put it into a bit fruity. The subway, underground train type beat. It's not as common as on the bus, but I do find a lot of people here who are a little bit homicidal. Unlike on a bus though, I don't think I've ever feared for my safety on a train. Also, the ads on the TTC subways are sometimes really funny. We'll go with a bit fruity. High-speed rail / bullet train. I don't know why I made this a separate category. Remember what they took from you. Have I been on high-speed rail before? I don't think I have. If I have, someone will correct me because I don't think for myself. Pretty gay. Monorail. Monorail gives me flaming. It gives me flaming vibes. That one train prototype that uses magnets or some shit. Remember the Tom Scott video where it was like some train that like, woo. It seems like an absolute marvel of engineering that goes so fast that if it were to suddenly stop or the magnets reverse polarity, you'd probably get your head blown off. We're gonna call that one a bit fruity. It's brand new, it's different, it's pog. Plane. I will call plane straight personally. You know, they kind of appeal to like everyone. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill type situation. And it also helps that the plane went straight for its target on September 11th. Helicopter. Helicopter, helicopter. I like helicopters. I think they're cool. They go, we're gonna give that also a straight. Helicopters just give me that vibe, you know? They're very like, they're really all business. Sure, you can argue having the funny fan spinning at such a high speed is a bit showy, but I think it is there for a purpose. It is there for business. It knows what it wants. It's gonna do it. No style points, just vibes. Now, blimp on the other hand. Blimp, on the other hand, is incredibly flaming. You look up at the sky and see one of these things, and you know those motherfuckers are trying to get your attention. They're trying to be showy as shit, you feel me? Ski lift. This is where the people who want me to talk about this in the gondola section get their reprieve. I don't know if gondolas are used for ski lifts, like, technically, but they both kind of harbor the same kind of thing, so I'm counting it. I actually don't know much about people who ski. Skiing is a pretty badass sport, though, so I imagine for using a ski lift, you're probably straighter than me. Now, Zambonis. I don't know entirely what I would put. Zamboni, yeah, is TBQH, for real on God. Zamboni riders are pretty cool in my experience. They be like, damn, Zamborando. Now, Zambonis are kind of hard to get a reading on because they are pretty limited in the terrain they can cover. By that, I mean it's just ice. Like, literally just ice. I know the demographic of hockey players who are homophobic and or homosexual. Middle of the road. Bit fruity. God has forsaken me. Hot air balloon. You telling me a hot aired this balloon? No. I have never been in a hot air balloon, but the thought of it terrifies me. I do not trust A, the person flying the balloon to not crash and kill me, and B, myself to not give in to the call of the void. I am more than happy riding a vehicle on a tour that is on the ground. Dog sled. You might think I put this in flaming, but I'm actually gonna put it in pretty gay because the one right below was reindeer sled. That's 100% flaming. Tank. How do I even begin to gauge this? I know a lot of femboys are really obsessed with World War II. I don't know where that correlation happened, but it's there. I don't know what kind of tanks they used in World War II or if tanks even existed then. I'm assuming they did. History is weird. But assuming they were a thing in World War II, which I'm almost 100% certain that they is, I'm gonna give that. I don't think we have enough in flaming. Put that in the flaming. Armored personnel carrier. You got a bunch of people inside of you? There you go. Jetpack. Jetpacks are an interesting one. They seem like a lot of fun. I haven't tried one myself, but we're gonna call it jetpack. We'll call it straight. Hoverboard, we're gonna give a bit fruity. Submarine, more like suck my peen. Pretty gay. I'm putting it there purely because I thought of that joke 5 seconds ago. Spaceship. Y'all ever think about the vastness of space? I'm not really scared of it at all, but I have multiple friends who have told me before that they're like scared of the fact that like space is so huge and we're only like a really tiny dot in the middle of this vastness that we don't fully understand yet. And I'm just like, my brain is literally too small to even grasp how much of a scale that is, so I just don't care. Ignorance really is bliss. I'm grateful to be this stupid. All right, has outer space ever been gay? What you got for me, brave AI? There's no evidence to suggest that outer space itself has been gay or has a sexual orientation. Outer space is a vast vacuum, blah, blah, blah. However, there are some interesting and relevant findings. Satirical film, gay. Oh, what the fuck is... All right, it's getting homophobic. It's getting just for that, it's homophobic now. Rip the cool spaceships. You had a good one. And last but not least, the last vehicle, the last mode of transportation we're gonna be rating. Brooms. We'd just be out here flying they fucking brooms and shit. They be sitting on that, they be riding that thing. Which, because I say it like that, would incline me to label it as straight. However, all the witches that I know in real life tend to be lesbians. So, or at the very least, some flavor of lesbian, you know, whatever. Point being, witches be gay as shit. It doesn't matter how they ride the broom, so we're gonna put that right into flaming. If that last joke didn't make it obvious that nothing I ever say should be taken seriously, I don't know what to tell you. Actually, you know what? If you don't know it by now, everything I say should be taken seriously. I want you to take every single thing that I say as gospel, and I hope it makes you mad. That was the video. I hope you liked it. No, I'm not gonna look at you. Please leave. Except for the patrons. You can stay, because I'm contractually obligated to read your name out. Here we go. Gordon, Hakamono, Foxy Boy, Kylecrane95, Jargy Rufio, Firefox, Serialsaurus, Beast King Barbaros, Uber Bounty, Joel, Aki, SF Serval, Squall, and Noodle HD. As well as the Ko-Fi 2024 donors, Applebee's Dragon, Beast, Sugar, Bro, Dribby, Fio Firefox, Gordon, Kakaro, Levy, Android.tj, Uber Bounty, and Welcome the Wolf. I don't normally ask you to subscribe, like, and comment, so I'm not going to. Matter of fact, I hope you unsubscribe and dislike the video. I feel like that'd be funny. Find a way to write a negative comment. Maybe if you write a comment and then delete it enough times, then the YouTube systems will get confused and it'll say -1 comments instead of 0 comments. That'd be really funny, actually. We should try that. I like fucking with my waist tracker. It goes like, whoop, 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 whoop. I think I want my penultimate video to be like another comments video. I know we just did a comments video recently, but I figure, you know, I already have plans for the last video of the year when we hit the 52. So I want the 50, what's the word for 51? I'm so fucking stupid. I want my 51st video to be something a bit more kind of communal as like the penultimate thing. That'd be Poggies. Don't leave any comments with like shit here, but I'll probably make a video later asking for shit. I can't be yawning. It's 7 p.m. Fuck me. The software I used to look at my script crashed. Why does God hate me?